Well, over the past 3 or 4 weeks, we've seen the re-emergence of the C19 virus, in particular around some of the areas surrounding the Menangle racetrack. As per usual, Club Menangle, due to the hierarchy, have been on the front foot as far as getting on top of the situation. To explain more is the General Manager of Racing, Mr. David Wonson. Well, David, as I mentioned, Club Menangle, due to the likes of the CEO, Mr. Bruce Christensen, and the Board of Directors, have been on top of the situation right from the outset as far as the C19 virus, and once again they have been very proactive as far as the wearing of masks.
Yeah, that's correct, Michael. What happened during the week, last Thursday, Harness Racing New South Wales put out a notice to participants about the wearing of masks at race meetings. They have to wear a mask in a few different situations. That is, if they're in the swab bay, if they're in a steward's room, or where they can't social distance. This club actually started that a couple of weeks ago. We had the staff wearing them. We just wanted to be proactive, lead by example. So we've had the mask on where we can't social distance. We're 2 metres away now at the moment, but where we can't social distance, all the staff, race day staff, have been wearing masks here for the last couple of weeks, including the clerk of the courses, my track staff, the guys in the stables, people at the sign-in desk. So yeah, we just wanted to be proactive and be on the front foot with it all.
I might just add, David, to that, over the last couple of weeks, myself and also the cameraman, Mr. John Harbour, have also been wearing masks while we've been doing the interviews.
Yeah, I think you've got to lead by example. We have a couple of checkpoints. We have a float checkpoint. Our guard down there has a mask on. Even at the turnstiles, the guards there, they have a mask on. I think it makes people feel comfortable in the environment we're living in, that they can see that we're trying to do the right thing. I think it does. When it first started, people were probably a little bit uncomfortable, people around masks. I think people are actually more comfortable now when they see someone with a mask and they're doing the right things. That's what we want to keep doing.
I've noticed the participants, David, have been very respectful of the fact that the people are wearing masks.
Yeah, and it's good that they've taken it on board too. We all know the situation in Melbourne and Victoria at the moment, and what a tough situation that would be for them. So we're not in that position just as yet, but anything we can do to minimise any of those effects, especially with the industry, the way it's been able to operate throughout this whole situation, can only be a good thing.
David, we certainly don't know what's happening from one day to the next, but I know a lot of the younger brigade, and we certainly have an exciting group of young participants in the driving ranks, such as Josh Geller, the defending Rising Stars champion, also the likes of Tom Ison, Blake Hughes, the list goes on and on, Jack Callaghan. They're all wondering whether the Rising Stars will still be going ahead in what shape or form probably at the end of the year.
Yeah, look, well, the Rising Stars is part of the finals night here on October 24. That's the final heat, which is part of the Breeders' Challenge finals night. Also, the JC Caffin, the final heat of that is down for that night on October 24. Look, we've got a couple of things in place, but as you said, everything's moving all the time. We just don't know where we are with regionalisation. As you know, a few weeks ago, we went away from the regionalisation model. We're back in the regionalisation model now. People from different regions can come here on Saturday nights and race for the good metropolitan money. They are in different. We're very lucky here at Menangle that we've got a few different stabling areas that we can isolate those people. So we do have something down, if you like to call it, in pencil, for the Rising Stars and the JC Caffin heats. Just want to make sure where we are, probably in about another month before those dates and where the heats will be conducted before we can actually sign off on them.
David, you've been putting together race fields for some time now, firstly for Bulli, then at Harold Park, and now here at Menangle. Have you ever seen a domination like this Saturday night? Race 6, Craig Cross, 7 of the 10 runners. He's usually been providing 5, maybe 6, but 7, and just to throw in for good measure, Norell and John McCarthy. So it's a Mac attack of enormous potential here.
Yeah, look, it's the way the system works here in New South Wales. Look, we developed the system where it's dollars last 5 on the Metropolitans, different levels here on Saturday nights. I suppose that shows how it works, is that whilst the Craig Cross stable's dominating that free-for-all, there's plenty of opportunities at level 2 and 3. So participants have still got an opportunity to win. If you have a look at levels 2 and 3 this week, very open fields. Yeah, he's been dominating the Craig Cross stable. We've had different eras. You can look at all those sort of things. I can remember as a young bloke, you looked at the David Aiken domination, the Chris Gleeson domination, the Paul Fitzpatrick domination. Even here just a couple of years ago, Shane Tritton. They go in cycles. Luke's got a great stable at the moment. He's got some good horses there, hasn't he? But those things work in cycles, and not wanting to hopefully not putting a mock on the Craycross stable, that the good times will roll, but on the back of that, there'll be times when someone else will stand up. So, yeah, it's their time at the moment. They're making the most of it, and good on them. That race, yeah, it'll be interesting who he puts on all those horses. I'd like to see the selection of gigs that we have here on Saturday night, which ones are going to be grabbing, but yeah, it'll be interesting, that free-for-all, that's for sure.
Speaking of good horses, David, we witnessed a brilliant return to racing of the Miracle Mile winner, Hunter Cup winner here last Saturday night, King of Swing. Of course, Ride High on the same night was just simply awesome. We've got Self Assured going great guns for Mark Purd in New Zealand, Chicago Bull in WA, Cash and Flow. The list is certainly very impressive, and Lochinvar goes around at Ballarat on Saturday night. The balancing act to get all these horses together now, as we enter this very intriguing golden period, you'd have to be a member of Cirque du Soleil to get this balancing act together.
Wouldn't you love to have a Miracle Mile, 6-horse Miracle Mile in about a month's time with the borders open? I'm sure with them all going into the race with picket fences, because the way they're doing it at the moment, they're all avoiding each other, which is great. Once again, it's the society we're living in at the moment that we can't get them together, but what a fantastic race it would be. Harness racing doesn't need to be put on the map, but I'm sure if anything, that sort of race, as I said, King of Swing, Cash and Flow, Ride High, Lochinvar, Self Assured, Chicago Bull, I'm pretty sure it'd make the back page of any newspaper, sporting newspaper in Australia.
David, in these disappointing times, to see that great selection of horses, it's just what the industry needs, that shot in the arm to keep everyone smiling, and the talk going around is certainly centred around those horses. Yeah,
wouldn't it be nice, sometimes we've seen what the NRL have been able to do when they work within the rules, but try something different. Geez, wouldn't it be good, as I said, about 5-6 weeks' time, you could put a $100,000 race and get 4 or 5 of those horses here at Menangle over the mile. I'm sure the record stands at 146.9. These just aren't like Australian elite horses. These are world elite horses that we're talking about now. They're running 49s for training runs. I'm sure the 147 be broken. I reckon they'd give the world record a nudge the way this track is at the moment too.
Just want to give you a pat on the back before we wrap up the interview. You've got about 3 or 4 walkie-talkies in your pockets. You're the go-between between the office, and we've got to say that the office is segregated from us. We're in a separate area to the public and also the participants. You're the go-between between everybody, and you're doing a great job making sure that all security is kept at the highest level.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Mick. It is challenging sometimes on these race days, but without the support of the participants and all my staff, you guys included, it wouldn't be possible. So I think it's a pat on the back for everyone, but I appreciate it.